Okay, so as we started learning yesterday, we started to learn how to divide fractions. So you went through that test I had you guys do yesterday, and you both did okay on it. We're going to go through some of those problems today and start to learn the method and concepts of how to divide fractions. So our first one, 3/4 divided by 1 1/5. Now, does anyone remember what's the first step we have to do?
Multiply the second equation to get the denominator the same.
So we eventually have to get the same denominator the same, but what do we have to do with this mixed number?
Multiply it.
Turn it into a
fraction.
How do we do that, Derek?
Times 1 and 5, then add 1, so you get 6/5.
Good. Our answer is going to be 6/5. You're taking your denominator times your whole number, so 5 times 1, and adding the extra we have on top of our fraction, which is 1. This comes out to be 6/5. We don't have a mixed number over here, so this one stays as 3/4. So this is now our new problem. Can we divide these two yet? No, why can we not? They don't have the same. They don't have the same denominator. So how do we do that? What numbers are denominator, top or bottom?
Bottom.
The bottom. So we have to find the multiples of those two, and we're looking for what? Numbers that are equal. So Derek, multiples of 4 are
4, 8, 12, 16, 24,
24,
28,
and
32.
32. Good. Those are multiples of 4. Kate, our multiples of 5 are what?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
30. Good. We can stop there. Now, do either of you see a number that's the same? 20. Very good. They both have the number 20. Is that the lowest one that's the same? We look up, none of the other ones match. So, next thing we need to do is see how many times we multiplied 4 to get to 20. Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many times do we take 4 to get to 20? Times 5. So we take 3/4. Do we multiply just the bottom, or do we multiply the top also?
Top two.
The top also. So we take that times 5. Taking both of them, the top, our new numerator would be
12, 15, I mean.
15. And our bottom, we said, would be 20. So that is taking the place of our 3/4. Now, we have 6/5. Do we take that times 5 also?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Nope.
No, you have to do it times 4.
Good. Why do we have to do it times 4?
Because 4 times 5 equals 20.
Good. We took our 5 and multiplied it 4 times to get to 20, compared to our 4 multiplying 5 times. So our 6/5, as Derek said, we multiplied by 4. We know our denominator is going to be 20. 6 times 4. If you don't know, get your calculator.
24.
24. Good. Now, both our new fractions, 15/20 and 24/20, have the same denominator, so we can rewrite that fraction. 15/20 divided by 24/20. Now we can divide. Big step to remember here is when you get the same denominator, you can cross them out. So we get rid of our 20s, and our new fraction is going to equal our new numerators. So 15 divided by 24. 15 divided by 24. Okay, is that more or less than a whole number?
Less.
Less. How do you know that?
Because the bottom is bigger than the top.
Good. The bottom is bigger than the top. So, is there a way we can simplify this?
Divided by 3.
3. Okay, if you take 15 divided by 3, what do you get?
5,
And 24 divided by 3?
8.
8. So our answer for this one would be 5/8. I believe you both got that one right on the little sheet you did yesterday, so nice job. Any questions so far? No? Okay, next one. 1 1/3 divided by 3/10. Okay, we said our first step, we have to do what?
Get the same denominator, make the first fraction, makes the first mixed fraction a fraction.
Make the mixed number into a fraction. How do we do that, Kate?
Multiply the 3 by the 1 and add the 1.
So it would be
4
4
over 3.
over 3. Very good. And do we have to turn this one, or is it already in a fraction form?
It's in a fraction form.
So 4/3 divided by 3/10. Now we get the same denominator. So we have to get look for our least common multiple of what two numbers, Derek?
3 and 10.
3 and 10. 3 and 10. Very good. Our multiples of 3. Anybody?
6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21,
Yeah.
24, 20,
What's after 18?
21,
21. Good.
24, 27, 30, 33,
Good. And our multiples of 10.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70.
10, 20, 30, that's 40, 50, 60. Do we have a number that is the same?
30.
30. Now, what's our next step once we know that our new denominator has to be 30?
Multiply.
What are we multiplying? Our first one, if we have 4/3, what are we multiplying 4/3 by?
10.
How do you know it's 10?
Because you go down to 10. From 3 to 30 is 10.
So, when we counted our multipliers of 3, it took 10 of them to get to 30. So 3 times 10 we know is going to be 30. What is 4 times 10?
40.
40, very good. So our new fraction, 4/3, is turned into 40/30ths. Our second fraction, 3/10. What are we multiplying that one by?
3.
3. So look at our 10. 1, 2, 3. Times 3 and times 3. Our new fraction is going to be
9 over 30.
9 over 30. Now, so the next step is to put 9/30ths divided by 40/30ths, correct?
Correct.
Let's take a second look at that. Are we sure about that?
No,
Why would you put the 9/30ths first, Kate?
you wouldn't.
You wouldn't, correct. Why would you not?
Because it's the second fraction and the beginning fraction.
Good. When we look at our original problems and we turned them into new fractions, we went to 4/3 to 4/30ths. The whole time it was the first fraction that we did, so it has to stay that way. 40/30ths divided by what?
930.
9/30ths. Not 9/30ths, not time. Alright, so when we have the same denominator, we can
Cross it out.
cross it off. Very good. Our new fraction would equal, or how would it look?
4 divided by 40 divided by 9.
Good. 40 over 9. Are we finished? Could we leave it as a fraction form? Yes, but if I were to ask you to turn it back into a mixed number so it looks something like this, do we remember how to do that?
No.
No. Okay. So what we have to do, we know it's going to be, it's more than a whole. On the last problem you said the bottom number was bigger than the top number, so it was less than the whole. Now our numerator is greater than our denominator, meaning that we have more than 1, or possibly 2, or greater number than 1. The way we do that is to figure out how many times 9 can go into 40.
4.
So if we do our multipliers of 9, it would be 9. What's our second one?
18.
18.
27.
27. And
34.
close, not 34.
36. No.
Don't make fun of her. You're close, Kate. 36. Kate, what's the next one? You got it. Anybody?
45.
All right, let's pull it together here. 45, good. Now, can we go up to 45?
We don't need
No.
to.
No, we can't. We can't because we only have 40. So our biggest number we can get to is 36. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we take 9 times 4, we get 36. So we're going to have a whole number in our mixed number of 4. Now the way we find the rest of our fraction, we had how many to start, Derek?
40. So
40.
there's 4 remaining.
40. We started with Kate. How many do we use to create our 4? 36. So we have 40 minus the 36 that we used, and as Derek said, we have 4 left. We have 4 what left?
9.
9s. How do you know that, Kate?
It's the denominator of
It's our denominator of our last problem. Are we finished now?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, next one. 2 and 5/8 divided by 1/3. Okay. Okay, this one's going to be all yours, and then Derek, you can have the next one, okay? So, first step is to do what, Kate?
Get the mixed number to fraction.
Very good. And we do that by doing 8 plus 2 plus 5, right?
No, 8 times 2.
Good. 8 times 2, which is
16.
16. Good. And then what do we do next?
Add 5.
Add 5. So 16 plus 5 is
21.
21. So 21 over 8. Divided by, do we have to do anything to our 1/3?
No.
No. So that stays the same. Next thing we have to do is
Get the same denominator.
get a common denominator. So we have to take or find it between these two. So finding the multipliers of that, it's 3,
6,
6.
9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24,
2 more.
27,
27 and
30,
very good. And our multipliers of 8 are
8, 16, 24, 32,
32,
40,
40, and
48,
48. Now looking at our 2 columns or rows there, is there any number that's the same?
yes,
Which number?
24,
24. Very good. Is that the smallest number that's the same?
yes,
We go up 16 and 8, we don't see them on here. So, let's start with our first fraction. I put the 3 first, but we have to start with the 8, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 21/8 we're multiplying by
3,
3. We multiply by 3, we said we're going to get a denominator of 24. 21 times 3,
63,
63. 1/3, what do we multiply that by?
8,
Times 8. And we're going to get
8 over 24,
8 over 24. Now, the next step, how is our new question going to look, or problem?
63 over 24 divided by 8 over 24.
63 divided over 24 divided by 8 over 24. Very good. Now, the next step.
Also, denominators.
Denominators?
Denominators.
Denominators, good. So we're crossing off the 24, making our new fractions going to be what?
63 over 8.
63 over 8. Is this going to be, is this less, equal to, or greater than 1?
Greater.
Greater than 1, we know that how?
Because the denominator is less than the top.
Good, the numerator is less than the denominator. As you said, the denominator is less than the numerator. How do we write that as a mixed number? What do we have to do?
How many times 8 goes into 63?
Good, how many times can 8 go into 63? So we need to find our multipliers of 8, which are 8,
16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 63,
not quite 63, but
62,
other way.
64.
Good, 64. Now, we got the 64. Is that more or less than 63?
More.
More, so we can't use that one possibly, but we can use 56. How many times did we multiply 8 to get to 56? Count for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. So we take 8 times 7, and that gets us
56.
56. Now, we said 7 is our new whole number. So as our mixed number, 7 is going to be our whole number. Following?
Yep.
Okay, how do we find out how much we have left?
How many times?
How many did we start with?
63.
63, very good. Now, we made a whole number 7, right?
Yep.
How many of those 63 did we use to make that?
56.
56. This 56 that we're using created our whole number 7, okay? So we have 63 minus 56. What does that equal? Use your calculator if you need to.
7.
7, very good. 7, what do we do with this 7 right here?
Put it in the numerator.
In the numerator, and what goes down the denominator?
8.
8. We keep the same denominator. So our answer, so if I were to ask you 2 and 5/8 divided by 1/3, what does it equal, Kate?
7 and 7/8.
Very good. All right, Derek, you're up. I'm going to go 2 and 3/4 divided by 1 and 4/8. Now, we have two mixed numbers, meaning we have to turn them into fractions. The first one,
2 times 4 equals 8, plus 3 equals 11, 11 over 4.
11 over 4 for our first one. Good. And our second one?
8 times 1 equals 8, plus 4, 12 over 8.
12 over 8. Now, can we divide them right away? Why can we not?
Is that the same on the bottom?
The bottom. Our denominator is not the same. How do we find that? What do we have to do? Find the multiples of which two numbers?
The bottom.
The bottom two are denominators of 4 and of 8. So, our multiples of 4 are,
8. Let's stop right there, the same.
we can stop right there because they're the same. Very good. We don't have to count forever if we can see that right away. Meaning, if it's 8, do we have to do anything to this problem or this fraction?
No.
No, we don't. So this one can be brought down right away to 12/8. What do we have to do with this 11/4?
Times 2.
Times 2, because it's our second multiplier. Times 2 times 2 comes out to be
22 over 8.
22 over 8. Now, so here's our new problem. Now we can do what?
Cross out the 8.
Cross off our denominator, which is 8, and our new fraction equals
22 over 12.
22 over 12, right in order. Good. Now we're less or greater than a whole.
It's going to be a whole number.
It's going to be a whole number? Why do you think that?
22 is bigger than 12.
22 is bigger than 12. Is it going to be exactly a whole number though?
No.
No. How do we find what our new mixed number is going to be?
How many times 12 goes into 22?
How many times 12 can go into 22? So we have to find our multiples of 12, which are 12,
24.
24. We're already over 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how many times can 12 go into 22? It can only go there one time. Now, we have to find, we know what's our denominator is going to be. It's going to be 12. The only thing we have left to find is our numerator. How do we do that?
The remaining numbers.
The remaining numbers. Elaborate on that. How many did we start with?
22.
We started with 22 total. 22 twelfths total. We used up how many of them?
12.
We used 12 of them so we could get a whole number. So now 22 minus the 12 we used comes out to be 10. That 10 is our new
Top number.
Numerator. Now, is this our final answer? Can it be?
We can simplify.
You could simplify. So this could have been our answer. This could have been our answer, but as Derek said, we can simplify. How do we simplify?
The simple number, the lowest numbers out of 10 and 12 that are the same or equal. Like
Equal to,
divide
so-
by-
So what's he mean, Kate?
You have to find a number that can go out of both 10 and 12.
You have to find a number that can fit into both 10 and 12, right? What's a number that can fit into both 10 and 12?
1.
2.
1 can, so let's start with 1. So if we have 10 over 12, and we said we're dividing to simplify, and we divide by 1. What's anything divided by 1?
1.
How many times can 1 go into 10?
10.
10, and how many times can 1 go into 12?
Well,
So did we switch anything?
no.
So, yes, you're correct when you say 1 can go into both of them, but when simplifying, we won't use the number 1. What's the next number you guys think?
2.
2. So if we have 10 twelfths, and I said like we're dividing, 2 goes into 10 how many times?
5.
5 times, and 2 goes into 12 how many times?
6.
6. Can that be simplified? Is there a number that goes into 5 and into 6
No.
besides 1?
No.
No. So, do we do anything with our whole number 1? Do we have to divide that too?
No.
No. So we would have 1 and
5, 6.
5, 6. Very good. Do you guys want to walk through one more on the board, or do you think you have it?
I got this.
Okay, so your worksheets are on the front of your desk. I want you to pull them out. I want you to complete number 1. Okay? On your own, and we'll walk through it on the board. Let me know when you're done or if you have questions.